What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel. Today we're here for a new Madden 23 realistic rebuild as requested by you guys. The number one team that kept popping up was my beloved Philadelphia Eagles post free agency, post 2023 NFL draft. Let's have a good one. I don't know if you know this, my Eagles were arguably the best team in the NFL last year, and then we met the other arguably best team in the NFL in the Super Bowl. We won the first half, they won the second half, and the game it was I haven't thought about it, though. I honestly have not thought about that game. I erased it from my memory. We're going to retool. Hopefully, we'll get back there again this year. I almost had to turn the salary cap off to achieve what Howie Roseman achieved, but we're able to get here. We got a brand new contract extension for Jalen Hurts, right? That was it was going to happen at some point, and it looked to be a pretty solid deal. But there was a lot of people that thought it was going to be doom and gloom for the Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to lose, we're going to lose Miles Sanders. Jason Kelsey's going to retire. On the defensive side, you're going to lose Hargrave, you're going to lose Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, you're going to lose your linebacking core, Slay and Bradbury. There's no way both those guys are back. And what Howie Roseman has been able to navigate has been truly exceptional, where my hype is even more higher than it was last year, where we finished the draft with the best defensive tackle in the draft and A.J. Brown. And I was just like, we're going to absolutely be dominant. So instead of Miles Sanders, we got DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny. I mean, all three of those running backs are talented when they're on the field. All three of those running backs have struggled to stay on the field. Literally, we saw Miles Sanders just like, oh man, maybe he played like he was healthy last year, and then the Super Bowl just got hurt in the second. Just unreliable. So we got a theme of unreliable running backs, and at any point, two unreliable running backs with a very good upside. If we can give me 8 and 8, give me 8 games of Swift, 8 games of Penny, we'll be fine. I think arguably we upgraded the wide receiver room as well. With Zacchaeus coming over from the Falcons, really reliable receiver. I think we upgrade the running back room. Kelsey returned, which is awesome on a 1-year deal. Defensively, we did lose Brandon Graham. I tried it 3 different times. He kept retiring. Didn't want to get into the business of altering his age and stuff. I was just like, all right, it is what it is. And given how we drafted, we can kind of just, kick Riddick down the edge. And we got Nolan Smith. We'll get to that draft in just a second. And why is he a normal dev? Come on, Bengal. But, Fletcher Cox was supposed to be a free agent. Brought him back. We got Jordan Davis. We got Josh Sweat. We're supposed to lose both Bradbury and Slay. Howie Roseman says, nah. We got Bradbury back on a 3-year deal. Slay on a 2-year deal. Now, the concession we can make. We got Edmonds, who's solid. We lost Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who's a ball hawk. I think different skill sets, kind of comparing apples to oranges. Edmonds is going to be more your run defender, reliable run defender, where Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was a liability against the run for the most part. But obviously, really good against the pass. I think we definitely downgraded a little bit at safety, but it's not massive. The linebacking core is a little bit worried because right now it stands. We got Nick Morrow and Nakobe Dean. Now, Nakobe Dean was a linebacker everybody wanted to draft last year that fell to the Philadelphia Eagles from the Georgia Bulldogs. Now, I think you can make the argument, Nakobe Dean, Kaiser White. There might be a little bit of a fair, even trade-off there, but definitely missing TJ Edwards from the linebacking room. He went off. We got a nice payday from the Chicago Bears. So I think really safety and linebacker, which are still the two positions in need for the Philadelphia Eagles. I already know as soon as this video gets recorded and gets uploaded, probably a couple days later, we're going to trade for freaking Isaiah Simmons or some shit, or trade for Budda Baker or something stupid like that, and age this video terribly. But I think handling free agency, Philly has done as good as they possibly can, being their backs up against the wall. Now, take a look at our draft recap. Now, there's 3 picks here that I didn't have. Ojomo was not even in the draft class. He was our 7th round pick, is what it is. And I got Keely Ringo and Tanner McKee, our 4th and 5th round picks. They're just on the roster. I traded for them. But looking at the big picks here, we got Jalen Carter at pick 10, arguably the top player in the draft as it relates to our depth chart. He's going to be our Fletcher Cox replacement. We might have to even just get him on the field immediately and just have everyone else kind of rotate in. He's insane. He's an absurd talent at defensive tackle. Then we got Nolan Smith at linebacker at pick 31. Now, very surprised he has just a normal dev, but it is what it is. We're going to utilize his great athleticism. And I think he's going to kind of be a true hybrid linebacker for this squad, especially as it relates to our depth chart. We got Tyler Steen in the 3rd round. He is going to play right guard for us. He popped with a hidden dev. So it's it's a little bit weird. I'm not gonna get too handsy with this draft class. I think maybe in a perfect world, You have Steen on the normal dev. You give that dev, you trade it over to Nolan Smith, but we'll rock and roll with what it is. He's a 73, and he is going to compete with Cam Jurgens for the starting right guard spot to, for Isaac Seumalo. And then we got the Canadian Sidney Brown here in the 3rd round out of Illinois. And honestly, he's probably going to start at free safety. It's going to be a battle between him and I think Reed Blankenship, who was solid, one of our UDFA picks last year. But being Canadian, I'm going to be all about Sidney Brown, getting some starting reps and seeing what he can do. On top of that, again, we got Keely Ringo as a nice developmental corner behind Bradbury and Slay, along with Greedy Williams coming over from the Cleveland Browns. And Tanner McKee will just be our cheap backup quarterback after we can get rid of Marcus Mariota. So all in all, you can make an absolute argument that the Philadelphia Eagles are, from where we ended in that Super Bowl loss to where we are today, a stronger roster, and that is absolutely terrifying to think about. So with that being said, let's get into year 1 of this rebuild. And like we needed anything else, Terrell Edmunds hit mid-season a dev trade scenario to get off normal up to a star. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who? He must be playing very well. Obviously, we're simming. Week after Edmunds hits a dev, we get another opportunity to get onto a superstar dev, which is the dev trait as it relates just to Madden that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson has. We have a very winnable matchup here against the 3-6 LA Rams. Win or lose, though, a solid opportunity. Look at that. We kicked the shit out of them, 31-6. Do we have a new superstar safety? I'll take him as a star. I'm not going to get too greedy. Fast forward a couple weeks. We are now 8-2, and we need to talk about some contracts. This is always the biggest worry when you do an Eagles rebuild, is that the salary cap in Philly's life doesn't necessarily line up with how things are attainable in Madden. So looking at who's available, shit. Okay, we got to prioritize this. I mean, I have to, at a certain extent, just offer Jason Kelce this deal. I almost hope he retires for the sake of our salary cap. Now, I actually updated Slay's contract, and it didn't stay, which is annoying. And in a perfect world, I can keep DeAndre Swift. I really want Slay and Swift. I can move on from Fletch. I can move on from Penny, Quez, Greedy, Boston. Like all these, I think. Well, we got to get Slay first because he's actually under contract. And hopefully, we might have to wait to the end until we get that little influx of additional salary cap. I do want to keep Darius Slay and DeAndre Swift here in Philly beyond this first season. And then in year 1, we go 13-4. We do the impossible, winning back-to-back NFC East if you consider what happened in real life. Number 4 offense, number 2 defense. And really, like again, if we got to wait to the last little negotiation period to bring back DeAndre Swift. We get that. We got $52 million additional salary cap. We're looking pretty good. I can tell you right now, Will Levis. Hey, take a guess. Take a guess what team Will Levis ended up on. I bet you it wasn't the Titans. I bet you it was a goddamn team with a stupid fucking pirate logo as their. Oh, what? Okay, now this is interesting. Will Levis had a touchdowns, and it wasn't the Bucs. It's not the Chiefs. Who needs a quarterback that would be that freaking overpowered? Colts? No. Oh, this is Falcons? Falcons. I'd get it eventually. Going to, you got to get off to the B tier playbooks. Maybe not the S tier, but the A to B tier. Anyways, Jalen Hurts played really, really well. 4,700 yards, 36 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. Also gave us an additional 500 yards and 8 rushing touchdowns. 7 tutties for Penny. DeAndre Swift, awesome. 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns. Definitely want to re-sign him. 72 catches, 1,200 yards, 8 tutties for A.J. Brown. Devontae went for 12 and 10. 9 and 7 for Quez. 9 and 7 for Dallas Goedert. Obviously big numbers for Quez Watkins, but still very happy with that. Both Nolan Smith, who's like, again, we're kind of using him as a hybrid linebacker pass rusher here. In that, Hassan Reddick role. 5 TFLs, 3 sacks, but did get over 100 tackles. 100 tackles for Nakobe Dean. Them Bulldogs, baby. 18 and a half sacks. 21 TFLs for Hassan Reddick. We got 9 for Josh Sweat, 9 for Fletcher Cox, 6 for Jalen Carter, 2.5 for Jordan. I don't know. Fletcher Cox was our D tackle 3 to get that kind of production. I might have wanted that to go to somebody else. Either way, Edmonds on the team with 4 interceptions. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson had 5. CJGJ who? Yearly awards MVP goes to Jalen Hurts. Congratulations. Let's go. Runner-up a year ago. Wins it this year. For the rest of the Eagles awards, Hassan Reddick runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year, just behind, I guess, the guy just automatically is going to probably win it every year. Defense Rookie of the Year goes to Van Ness. I mean, Jalen Carter, I don't want to spoil it. He has a star dev. Don't know about that one. Jalen Carter got a star dev. Would have been nice maybe to get that Rookie of the Year award. Get some of those Fletcher Cox numbers on a Jalen Carter so that we can get up to a superstar dev, which, I mean, come on. He should be superstar dev. Jason Kelsey, Lineman of the Year. Hassan Reddick, runner-up for D lineman. All right. I mean, we should have some dev traits going in the right direction here this season, but we need to win the Super Bowl. I need to win multiple Super Bowls in this rebuild, to be honest with you. That's my measure of success. And we're taking on in the first round Will Levis and the Atlanta Falcons. We cannot be one and done. We are 7 overall points better. They cannot compete with us. And they did compete with us, but ultimately we did get the victory 31-28 back in the NFC Championship game. We had a quiet game from Jalen Hurts, but our defense forced 2 turnovers on Will Levis. Jalen Hurts did have 2 rushing touchdowns. Dallas Goedert, leading receiver. On the defensive side, Jacoby Dean, 9 tackles and an interception. We got Fletch and Josh Sweat with a sack. Dean and Edmonds. Edmonds making plays. And we got to handle Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. They probably have Aaron Rodgers still. But hypothetically speaking, we got to handle Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. They get back to the Super Bowl, and we are going back, and we're taking on Justin Herbert and the Chargers. 35-17. There you go. Not only 5 touchdowns for Jalen Hurts, 4 interceptions on old man Aaron Rodgers. Let me see all 4 of these go to Edmonds. Jacoby Dean with 2 picks. We got a sack there from Jalen Carter. Jacoby Dean, 2 picks. Slay and Bradbury just abusing. Elder abuse. Elder abuse. We are back in the Super Bowl. Back-to-back Super Bowls. This is only the beginning. I think we're going to make the Super Bowl almost every year. That's how good our roster. That's how bad the NFC is. But we'll hop in and sim it. We're not going to, get too handsy unless it gets really, really one-sided. I think we can handle the Chargers here. Get a nice little boost ahead of the Super Bowl as Jalen Hurts wins the MVP. So he goes up to an X Factor, and we got 3 points to spend right into his archetype here, which is already a perfect scheme fit improviser. I love getting the injury boost. The injury's on, but we're going to be rolling in the Super Bowl with a 95 overall Jalen Hurts, who is throwing the football as well as he can. Going off of abilities here, what do we got? Running gun. They have perfect accuracy with throwing. Honestly, that's probably fair enough. These are all probably fair enough for Jalen Hurts. I'm not gonna tinker too much with all those abilities. We're gonna roll in, and this is the first of hopefully 5 straight Super Bowls for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now there is a chance that this, I don't even want to see Jalen Hurts the Super Bowl. That's bad luck. But there is a chance that, like, this rebuild, this could be our peak. There's also, the salary cap could get very, very tough to keep a competitive team together, and this might be our window, year 1 and year 2, for example, as opposed to year 3, 4, and 5. So we're not going to take it for too much granted, even though I do want to be optimistic and say we're going to get here a bunch of times. So let's make sure we handle business. And we're going into halftime up 21-6. Chargers get the ball to start the second half. They go down the field and score a touchdown. They get back-to-back touchdowns, and this game is tied at 21. Going into the 4th, Chargers get a touchdown. We are falling asleep here a little bit. Holy shit. Come on, fellas. We get the touchdown tied up at 28. We have 2:41 to go win this game. We can't have back-to-back Super Bowl losses or else everyone's going to start doubting Jalen Hurts. Holy shit. Okay, I got to come in. I got to come in at least for one play here. We can't lose back-to-back. What kind of plays do we got? These plays are bullshit. Bullshit plays, man. We're going to go in the gun. We're going to look for trips. We're going to get something to... I like this one. We'll go this one. We got 3 timeouts. We're going to go A.J. Brown over the middle of the field. We're going to throw a fucking stiff arm. We're going to burn a timeout. I was thinking I should let them sim it out from now. I don't know. I don't trust them. We'll go verticals again and see if we can hit. I'll tell you right now, if I get this and we get in with it, like the red zone, and it'll be like one play, maybe I'll let them sim it out. I didn't want to come in, but like quickly. Do I just say fuck it and go? No, we'll sim it out. If they can get this, they deserve it. They're gonna have 1 or 2 plays to potentially get this Super Bowl over the line. First play, incomplete. 5 seconds to go. There we go. They Quez! To Quez! That's only half cheating. I need to do it, man. Can't lose back-to-back. I don't want that omen. Doesn't even exist in this video that we lost last year's Super Bowl. But it does to me. And it does to any Eagle fan watching this. Back-to-back losses would just, like, soil anything that we could build here. Do we get to this moment? Super Bowl victory. We're not going to gloat, though, because, yeah, you know, we did help them a little bit. Maybe too much of a generous nudge. But, I mean, they still did it. Still had to get that touchdown. Crunch time. They were able to execute. Jalen Hurts was money. And there we go. Finally. 2 straight Super Bowls for the Eagles. 1 victory, and it's time to start stacking. You got Quez up there catching the touchdown. Losing his freaking mind. Jalen Hurts. Nick Sirianni. Let's go. Hoist that bad boy. Now you at least have, like, if Jason Kelce retires, he's going out on top. You don't have him going back-to-back Super Bowl losses, an Eagles legend. Let's keep rolling, man. 4 more Super Bowls. That's what we need. So in closing, as your Super Bowl champion, 4 dev traits on the offense. Didn't lose any dev traits. We gained an X factor on Jalen Hurts. Steen's hidden dev was a star. On the defensive side of the football, we did lose some dev traits. Bradbury lost his superstar. Josh Sweat lost his superstar. Jalen Carter unjustly is only a star. I think that should be higher. Nakobe Dean and Nolan Smith, though, both gained star devs, so that's awesome for our 2 starting linebackers. We did lose something on Nicholas Morrow, and Edmonds earned his dev trade in season. So I think all in all, especially with the most important position, Jalen Hurts becoming an X factor, I think we're ahead on the dev traits as your Super Bowl champions rolling into year 2. But we need to start this offseason by definitely re-signing DeAndre Swift. So Swift, because I had to pull money off of Swift to re-sign Slay, I only have the option to franchise tag him. We're going to have to just sign him on the open market, but I will prioritize that. And an Eagles legend has retired, a man that I've been procrastinating long enough to get his jersey. I might need to do it. I'm in need of a new white Eagles jersey. I got a green AJ Brown that I just ordered, it was supposedly supposed to be a stitched jersey. Wasn't stitched. I mean, it's like the stitched pieces versus, like, you know, the stuff that you can just get heat pressed, but it's like glue gunned on. Very upset with that. Don't buy Nike Fuse limited bullshit. But I got a green AJ Brown. I got my black alternate Brian Dawkins, but I need a white jersey, and I need the new, obviously, Kelly Green. I'm thinking Kelly Green should most likely, that should be my Jalen Hurts jersey. So if I'm in the market for a white jersey, I might have to just go Jason Kelce at some point. But either way, thank you for 13 years of outstanding service. So for our free agency period, I will say that looking at the running backs, it was close. Josh Jacobs would be awesome in Philadelphia, but given the fact that I want Swift here, and he had a good year last year, I'm going to try to bring him. And then I got Isaiah Simmons, a player that I think could, it's fantasy world, but as long as Howie Roseman is our GM, we can kind of almost operate in a fantasy world as an Eagles fan. I would really like to target Isaiah Simmons, especially after the Cardinals didn't pick up his 5th-year option. Don't know how I'm going to utilize him if we land him. He's the safety here. Could make, I mean, I don't want to, eat into Sidney Brown's snaps. Like, maybe we'd move him to linebacker, and then, I don't know. So that's why I didn't go with a massive offer. I literally hit him with just, like, the yellow bid, and it's giving us a top option there. And if we do land him, we can get creative with it. But we got Swift, which was our first priority. And if we get Isaiah Simmons, it's kind of just surplus requirement. We missed out. So luckily, we get Swift, and we get to roll over some salary cap room, which is never a bad idea with how, much talent we have on our roster right now. So picking at 32, some interest. Like, we could go all over the place. In real life, if you had DeAndre Swift back, this running back in the 3rd round with 3 A's looks pretty enticing, but it's not really the case here. We got double B's here on a deep threat wide receiver. It's looking interesting for sure. Knowing Howie Roseman, you can always kind of build through the trenches if the best available. Because, we got to move on. Kelce retired. But I'm not seeing anyone that's screaming draft me in the 1st round as it relates to a center. Not much at tackle. You go on the defensive side. You're flirting with, like, maybe potentially BPA. But, I mean, linebacker could be a spot that we want to try to target and improve. And, of course, picking where we do, all the guys that look kind of interesting are already off the board. DeAndre Cook is a power rusher. Could kick him down the line here, but I mean, just absolute shit combine. I mean, we are in not a great spot. It's what happens. What's this guy? We got B, 3 C's. He's 5'11". Not a brutal combine, but this is not a particularly strong draft class. And even if it was, there wasn't going to be good players available. So I just think, honestly, this spot, we're going to go with the tendency of, like, all right, B, catch in traffic, B, release. Deep threat. You can be that wide receiver 3 for our offense. Shamir Wooden, welcome to Philly. Hidden dev wide receiver. Let's go. Draft so bad, we'll grab a backup running back. Isaiah Odin, Triple A's. Welcome. Here's a look at our draft class. And it went, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I made the first 3 picks, kind of simmed out the rest. Now, I did have 3 second-round picks in this draft, and I was able to flip it for a second and a third next year. So we're gonna have decent draft capital. Again, we're gonna be in a position. It's my Eagles rebuild. If I can get a generational guy, I'm gonna sabotage multiple drafts to do so. But look at how we did this year. Just going BPA. We got Shamir Wooden, 75, hidden dev wide receiver. Odin, 73, hidden dev running back to be RB2 behind DeAndre Swift. He'll get his touches in our offense. I got a 70 D tackle, normal dev, just kind of undersized, but he was BPA. Rest of the draft, kind of the pits, but take the top 2 guys who contribute on the offense right away. Midway of year 2, trying to defend our Super Bowl title. 5-4, game behind the Giants in the East. Maybe a little bit underwhelming to be losing 4 games at this point, but you're not always going to be outright dominant. I think when all is said and done, dust is settled on this season, we're going to be looking pretty good. Look at some contracts. $56 million of available cap. Have to make some tough decisions here. First, we got Avonte Maddox. Lock him in until he's 30. Don't have to worry about the slot there. We got Joshua and Hassan Riddick. Both those guys kind of want to keep him, especially Hassan Riddick, because, he's getting a lot of sacks for us. He's been big time. Let's get Landon Dickerson for 4 years. Keep him for the remainder of the year. We got $16 million. Gonna be tight. Oh, no. 1 year. No. Okay, well, hey. We get enough salary cap at the end of the year. We can keep this going. We're gonna be losing Edmonds. We're gonna be needing a new kicker. We're gonna lose some depth. I'm confident at end of the year we'll have enough money to keep Riddick here for at least 2 more seasons. All right, Terrell Edmonds hits another dev trait in a loss against the 49ers, which has now offered us, not only do we need to re-sign Hassan Riddick, I think now with Edmonds being a superstar, he is under the conversation of players we need to extend. I wonder if he'd be a little bit cheaper. Give him this 3-year. Again, brought him in as replacing Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. He's been everything but. So, all right. A little less money to sign Hassan Riddick. Still confident we'll be able to get it done. And we lost Week 18 to the Giants, and that is an unacceptable record for how good our team is. 9-8. Able to limp into the playoffs. Did not win the NFC East. Dallas won 10-7. Surprising. Dallas. They sim out pretty good. I don't know if you guys have ever played Madden 23, but Dallas is pretty good in the sim for some reason. Very unrealistic. But at least we made the playoffs. An opportunity to defend our Super Bowl title. And we got a very winnable matchup against Green Bay. Take a look at the stats this season. We had, not bad from Jalen Hurts. Whoa, way too many interceptions, though. 4,500 yards, 33 touchdowns. Acceptable because he's going to get his rushing numbers. But 19 interceptions. Incredibly uncharacteristic of Jalen Hurts. Had 550 and 7 as a rusher, 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns for DeAndre Swift. Acceptable. 1,300 yards, 12 tutties for Devontae. 13 and 9 for A.J. Brown. Wooden, our first round pick, 700 yards. Goddard with 7 and 6. Really solid numbers across the board. Nakobe Dean, 140 tackles, 3 picks, over 100 tackles, 7 TFLs for Nolan Smith, 19 sacks. Hey, there we go, Jalen Carter. Might have that opportunity, man, to get into dev trade here. 12 TFLs, 13 sacks. True Fletcher Cox successor. Josh Sweat was solid. Jordan Davis, run defender, those are good numbers. 3 picks to Kobe Dean. And Edmonds, our new superstar safety, also had 3 interceptions. Yearly awards. MVP goes to Josh Allen. So, Hurts a year after when that's bad. That's probably why we struggled. Runner-up for Defense Player of the Year back-to-back seasons is Hassan Riddick, who we still have to find a new contract with. Wooden is runner-up for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Don't think we're going to have any award winners. Did not. A little bit of a down year across the board for the Eagles. But all we need is that one opportunity to go on a little bit of a run here. We got to run the gauntlet, starting in the wild card round against the Green Bay Packers. And we handle business 20-17. Next up, we have the Seattle Seahawks. 84 overall. 5 overall points better. Kicked their ass. We kicked their ass, baby. NFC Championship game against, guess who? Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They aren't even 500. And we are in our 3rd straight Super Bowl. 2nd of this rebuild. We're going to stop referencing the other one because I'll keep losing my starting point here. We are in year 2. Another Super Bowl. A chance to avenge the loss that happened in 2022. The 13-4, 88 overall Chiefs going up against the 9-8 89 overall Philadelphia Eagles. The rematch that we need. Hurts, Mahomes, part 2. Now, because we had some influence on the last Super Bowl, this is going to be straight sim. Even though I would be annoyed to lose back, 2 Super Bowls in 3 seasons to the Chiefs, counting real life. We were a little hands-on-y for a year 1 Super Bowl in year 1. So I'd love to see my team be able to accomplish this themselves. And I say that as we're down fucking 10-0 early. Able to kick a field goal here. Come on, man. The Chiefs defense ain't that special. But also, Jalen Hurts had a pretty bad season. So our offense has some question marks. And we are getting absolutely pummeled, dude. What the fuck? 31-3. Get the nice little sympathy touchdown there. But this is utter dominance from the only team that shouldn't have an overpowered playbook, that does have an overpowered playbook, that I can sleep at night with the Chiefs being the boss fight of franchise mode in the sim. I think we can live with that. You can't live with the Bucks, can't live with the Cowboys. If any team's gonna be like, of course they fucking win, this is so cheesy, the Chiefs are probably the only team that earned that over the last couple years. They are the new Patriots, as much as they don't want to admit it. You guys are the new team that everyone's just gonna slowly start to fucking hate their guts. And they got the Super Bowl here. 34-23. Still got 3 more years. We're going to be back. And hopefully, honestly, at this point, I want to play them again. We got to beat them. No one retired, which is good. We might be getting close for Lane. As it relates to dev traits, though, closing after a Super Bowl loss, Jalen Hurts did lose his X Factor. I'm not going to say that was unfair. He had almost 20 interceptions. But if this is like the worst that we're getting from Jalen Hurts and we still can make it to a Super Bowl, I feel kind of good. Defensively, though, we did gain dev trait on Jalen Carter. He is rightfully now back up to a superstar dev, which I think is huge. No other dev traits up or down, I don't think. Bradbury's now a star. Don't know if we lost that superstar this year or last year. Maybe that slipped under the radar, but I'm still happy with where our team is at. But now we got $31 million available salary cap. We kind of gambled that this would be our war chest available because we can't let Hassan Reddick leave the team. I'll obviously give him a 3-year player-friendly deal because he's been elite every year in the sim. Elite. I'm not even going to look at who's available for free agents. We have $11 million. After we get our rookie class, it's going to be even less. Hassan Reddick was our free agency. I'm not even looking. I don't want to know who's there. Now, looking at the draft. I did say I want to be aggressive in terms of trading up. Our corner room is regressing. We might need to move up, depending on where he falls. We got Taj Ferguson, 6 feet tall, 3 A's and a B. Now, the combine is not, I'd like to see maybe a little more S tier. Like, that's an A tier combine. He's kind of like the Will Anderson of, like, everything else looks amazing. The combine could have been better. He's a projected top 5 pick. You can't always follow the mock drafts, but you can a little bit. If he's slipping to 8, I think right around pick 5, maybe we need to do a little. Maybe Howie Roseman needs to call up Joe Douglas. Work together in Philadelphia. He's now the GM of the Jets. See if we can move up. I want to move up for this corner if he falls a little bit. But last time we thought some guy was going to fall, he ended up going like 2nd overall. All right, the board has fallen exactly how we wanted to. We're going to call the Jets to see if we can, what it's going to cost anyways to move up to pick 6. We're going to give up all of our draft assets. Our 1st round pick this year, our 2nd round pick this year, and a 1st round pick next year. This guy better be fucking good. If I get this guy and he's normal dev, like even if he's like an 80 normal dev, this is going to be, this guy needs to hit. He has to be good. I'm gambling on it. He looks freaking really good. This is the time to jump up. Taj Ferguson, Northern Illinois. Let's go. That looks pretty good. He's passing the vibe check already. The board kind of falls apart after this. In the 3rd round, we got another linebacker, Josh Burgess. You got the B tackle, A zone coverage, and he's an outstanding athlete. Always like to gamble on those traits. Let's go. Take a look at our draft recap. I'm saying, look at that. Like, that's why we didn't spend in free agent. We barely had enough to sign our freaking rookie class. Ferguson, I mean, I want to say the depth trait got to be superstar, but he has to be at least an 8. And he's 83. Let's go. Taj Ferguson walks in. He's better than Bradbury. 83 hidden dev corner. Definitely looking like it's worth the price of 2 firsts and a 2nd. And those firsts are going to be late 1st rounders. They're not getting top 10 picks. Burgess, 74 hidden dev. We got Evan Vinson, a Florida Gator D tackle, 71 there. Kind of maybe a Milton Williams replacement, if you will. The rest of the draft wasn't particularly good, but those are 2 hits and an outstanding. He's probably #1 player in the draft class, if I had to guess. Does anyone else even compete? No, actually, we'll give 80 over running backs. Not too bad. But yeah, let's go, man. Rich get richer. Now, I'd hate to be the spoiler, but this is always what you got to do, man. As long as it's here, I always get more excited when I look at this than like just having it unveil after they play X amount of snaps. Let's see, Fergus. Let's go. All right, mid-season, we've actually lost 2 in a row. 4-1. I was like, ah, shit, this looks pretty good. 2 in a row. They'll be sitting 4-3, game back of the Commanders in the NFC East. Take a look at our contracts here. Got some decisions to make. $58 million. Now, we didn't sign anybody last year in the open window because we knew it was going to be tight. Pretty tight. So we're going to have to figure it out. We got to prioritize here. First up, Devontae Smith, X-Factor wide receiver. Yep, get him locked in. Ooh, what? Okay, we're going to get him locked in for the main of the read. We got Lane Johnson. I just have to re-sign him because it's Lane. We have Dallas Goedert at tight end. 4 years. He wants a little bit more money. But right now, we can definitely re-sign both Devontae and Dallas Goedert. It's going to... man. Can't get my Lotta. Might be able to keep Nakobe. So we get a Kobe. Right now, Jordan Mailata is going to be the question mark. We can definitely get, with that remaining money, Dallas and Devontae signed long term. That's going to be tough. Mailata wants an insane amount of money. But we're going to have to hope that whatever the salary cap goes up by, if we can just shovel that right towards Jordan Mailata. I'm going to be honest. Here in year 3, I mean, year 3 is the random year, right? And oddly enough, it's actually, Josh Jacobs landed with the Chicago Bears. We pondered signing Josh Jacobs when we went with DeAndre Swift. Anyways, we were 4-5. 4-5 at one point, able to find a way to win the NFC East, 10-7, having a tiebreaker over the Dallas Cowboys. But definitely not an easy season. Jalen Hurts bounced back, though. Much better year than last year. Cut almost the interceptions in half. Pretty good numbers. DeAndre Swift, pretty good numbers. A.J. Brown, really good numbers. 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns, 9-7. Devontae might be losing that X factor. Still be a superstar at worst. Goddard was solid. Wooden, also nice little role player there. Josh Burgess, our rookie linebacker, led the team in tackles. Kobe Dean's there as well. We have 15.5 sacks, Jalen Carter, 13.5 Hassan Riddick, 6.5 Josh Sweat, 5.5 Jordan Davis, 3.5. So Nolan Smith kind of got robbed here a little bit. Maybe should have adjusted the depth chart. But, I mean, either way, it is what it is. You got to live with it. 4 picks for both Devontae Maddox and Slay. Yearly awards MVP goes to Josh Allen. Jalen Hurts coming in at number 3. The rest of the individual awards, Jalen Hurts is quarterback of the season, which is nice. Bodes well for him to potentially get back up to an X factor. But we got to run the gauntlet here. Last time we had to run the gauntlet, no problems whatsoever. But the Bears could be a different animal. Josh Jacobs, Justin Fields, not going to be easy. Plus, it's year 3, but we handle business there. Now we can take on the cheat code in the NFC and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Will the better roster prevail, or will the playbook prevail? And the better roster does prevail. We are in our 3rd straight conference championship game this year against the Green Bay Packers, who we defeated in last year's playoff run. And we are in our 3rd straight Super Bowl, and it's a rematch. The 3rd time in my lifetime this would have happened. The Eagles and the Patriots. 3 straight Super Bowls. We're 1-1 in this rebuild. We're not going to count what happened in real life. Year 3. We're almost 10 overall points better than the Patriots. We should kick the ever-living shit out of them. Let's go. Let's see it. Rocking and rolling. Opening drive, Patriots score first. It's that they're barely 80 overall offense. Just works it down the field. We're able to equalize, go ahead with a field goal at the end of the first. Going into the second. All right. Defense is playing pretty strong, but I don't know. I feel like we're not really pulling ahead, but a touchdown here very much is going to let us feel fairly comfortable. 24-7, another touchdown. Count it, man. It's looking pretty good. Barring an unforeseen worst collapse of all time, we have kicked the shit out of the Patriots as we should. Man, we're 10 overall points better. That is an absolute mismatch. I don't care what sim, I don't care what fairy tale the sim might try to tell. 10 overall points should lose, or should win in our case, 9.5 times out of 10. Jalen Hurts, can't believe it. 2nd Super Bowl victory in 3 years. 4th Super Bowl appearance. God, I'm playing like some Eagles, Arctic Foxes if we need to. Well, let's go, man. 41-21. We still got 2 more years of dominance left. The bad news is the cost of our Super Bowls has not allowed us to re-sign Jordan Mailata, which is very painful to me. I don't even know. Like, I almost just want to franchise tag him and then try to figure out after. They won't even let me offer him a deal. Okay. Yeah, I don't really know. Even if I don't even think there's a way I can move the roster around and make that work. Yeah, there's no, like, Jordan Davis is like the only guy we could, that would free up like like Hurts. We're not going to destroy the team to keep one player. What we are going to do is, we're focusing on that draft class. Tyler Steen, who we had playing at right guard, he was a left tackle at Alabama. So we're going to kick him now to left tackle, and that leaves us with a center and right guard as obvious needs, and because of drafting a corner, which I'm not going to regret it one bit because now he's 91 as an X-Factor rookie. Worth it. But we're going to have to find 2 new starters on the offensive line in the 2nd and 3rd round. No pressure. All right, pick 32. Now, there actually was a couple decent-looking linemen, had some A's, but they were projected to go 2nd, 3rd round, so I'm expecting most of them to be cleaned up by this time. But we have Thompson there, 3 B's and an A, who looks pretty good. Odom and Cannon also looked like there was some potential there. Center, not a good center class. Like, look, literally, like, it was one of those classes where, like, there was 2 guys that were draftable. On the other side, double A, Reinhardt looks pretty solid. But we'll go with what we know. We'll go with our homework here. We'll go with Warren Thompson first, and at 6'3", 330, probably won't be able to slide him inside to center. So that is going to be our right guard, a replacement for Steen, who we moved to tackle. Now let's just honestly draft the best lineman available, and we're going to move him into center. But that's a hit. No first-round pick. Still get a hidden dev guard at a position of need. So we have Cannon here, who looks a little bit more like he could slide to center. 6'4", 300 pounds. A little bit slight. A awareness, A pass block. A little bit worried about the D-run block. The other option would be Odom, who has the 2 A's in the least important categories, unfortunately. 6'3", 312 could definitely move into center. Combine also is pretty good. He's more athletic. Maybe we'll go with the guy that's a better athlete here. Stephon Odom, welcome to Philly. Hit it, Dev. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go. I like that almost as much as trading up for the generational corner that we got. No first-round pick. Needed a guard and a center. Got them. Hey, look, at our draft recap, double 74 hidden devs. Thompson 74. Odom. And we'll make Odom the center. I mean, that rating actually might go down a point or 2. I've seen 2 points harshly. Move him to center, but it's a great athlete. Only goes down 1, man. I'll take 74, 73. Outstanding. Year 4 for the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's get an update of where our roster stands as we had a little bit of transition here. So, Hurts, superstar. We got Swift 90, X-Factor, A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith did lose his X-Factor last season. Not overly concerned about that. We used our coaching ability to figure out the dev trade on Thompson, our first pick in the 2nd round. He's a star dev, so him and Odom, massive shoes to fill. I mean, inadvertently, obviously we had a little bit of a year of retirement, but we need to find our Kelsey replacement, and hopefully Steen, moving to tackle, can replace Jordan Mailata with Thompson taking his spot at right guard. Defensively, Ferguson, generational corner, drafted him. He's our Bradbury replacement. Still got Slay, Maddox, and Ringo. Sweat, Carter, Davis, and Riddick on the D-line. We got Nolan, Smith, Nakobe Dean, and Burgess as our linebackers, with Sidney Brown and Edmonds still sticking around at safety. We got Maddox in the slot. We're going to go Riddick, Carter, and Sweat as our pass rushers. I know it's I just want Nolan Smith to be a little bit more involved on the defense, so we'll make him our sub-linebacker duo with Nakobe Dean. We'll go Devontae in the slot, Swift at those 2 spots, and let's make it a 3rd Super Bowl win here, baby. And year 4 starts out, this is what I was expecting. 6-0, undefeated, chance at the undefeated season. Let's take a look at the contract. This has been the downside, though. Anytime we look at, like, oh, this feels great, we're very happy. We look at who we have to resign, and that's when things get a little bit rough. We do have $96 million, but we're going to be able to spend that very, very quickly. We'll start with A.J. Brown, who's been very good for us. Stayed as an X factor. We'll keep him. We got Lane Johnson, 1-year deal. Got to keep Lane. He wants more years, which might actually lessen the cap hit, which is pretty good. We got Jordan Davis trying to keep the Georgia Bulldog theme here. He wants more money. Yikes. Slay is probably going to be pretty expensive, but we actually keep him in the building. He might retire. It's not that thing like with either Slay or Lane Johnson retires, even though I want to keep them both. It might be better long-term for the salary cap implications. We got Nolan Smith, who obviously now has a more expanded role in the defense. We'll re-sign that. We have Steen at... I should have signed Steen over Smith. Happens, man. So you gotta pay the piper sometime. You can only win so many Super Bowls before they're just not gonna let you keep it together. We finish year 4, the #1 team in the NFC, 13-4, another NFC East title. #1 offense in the NFL, top 10 defense, even though we weren't technically top 10, even though we had the 10th passing yards, 10th rushing, whatever. We're playing really, really well. We are once again favorites. We'll auto-spend this. Look at that. Jalen Carter up to a 94, almost 90 for Nolan Smith, the featured players from the 2023 draft. Take a look at the stats. Jalen Hurts, very, very nice. Most passing, I mean, that's his best year throwing the football yet in this rebuild. Getting better with age. 600 yards there. We have 1,400 yards, 21 touchdowns from DeAndre Swift. Devontae, 11 and 16, 1,009 for A.J. Brown, 8-3 for Wooden, 7-7 for Dallas Goedert. Defensively, Nakobe Dean and Nolan Smith, both over 100 tackles. And we actually got some nice pressures there from Nolan Smith, all things considered. 15 sacks, Jalen Carter, 15 from Hassan Reddick, 7.5 from Josh Sweat, and 4 picks, Edmonds leading the team. Yearly awards MVP goes to Deshaun Watson, beating out Jalen Hurts. Come on, I think probably should just eliminate certain players from ever winning that award, even in the sim or not. Jalen Hurts is quarterback of the year, and I think we should feel pretty solid that Jalen Hurts will get that X factor for the 5th and final year of this rebuild. But it's all about, at this point, just making the Super Bowl every single year. That'd be pretty cool. I don't think we've ever done that in any rebuild. And it all starts here in the divisional round. We got the 10-7 Rams, 83 overall. We are 9 overall points better than them. So we should absolutely beat the brakes. And then somehow they made it a really ugly game and won. Damn. 22-18. The first time we've been underwhelming in the playoffs. Barry Sherman outduels Jalen Hurts. Well, I guess, we still got year 5 to go win that 3rd Super Bowl. So the good news, as we close this out, DeAndre Swift up to a superstar dev. Jalen Hurts back up to an X Factor. We did lose the X Factor on A.J. Brown, which is fine. I mean, that's development. We're still pretty good. Odom and Thompson, our 2nd and 3rd round picks, both star devs. Might have been nice to get a nice roll of a superstar. It is what it is. Jalen Carter is up to an X Factor. The bad news is we're hoping that there's going to be a way that we could re-sign Tyler Steen, establish himself as our left tackle. I was hoping we get an influx when the salary cap went up. We might get something, when we move to the next, but right now we're sitting in the red, minus $4 million. So we had to cut somebody on top of the guys that we're going to be losing. Avonte Maddox, Tyler Steen. It is not great here in Philadelphia, all things salary cap. I wish we had Howie Roseman. Oh, there we go. No, we went up to 11. What does that mean? Oh, did Lane Johnson retire? The wheels could be falling off here if Lane Johnson retired. If that's where we got our additional money from, I mean, we better hope we can get Steen. Because if not, I don't know. I don't really know how much I like my team's chances if we have to replace both our starting left and right tackle. And there is just no way we can make this work. Unreal. All right. I think we're screwed. All right, so free agency. I just want a little more depth at corner, so we're going to look at Cam Taylor-Britt, and we just need a left tackle and a right tackle. We can only really afford to sign one. We're going to have to draft one. So we got Blake Freeland, superstar dev at a BYU. Yeah, I mean, the rating's kind of the shit, 78 overall, but I mean, you'll take the superstar dev. Developmental guy every day of the week. And then honestly, if there's even a halfway decent tackle, I'll be trading a bunch of picks to go get him. Just into our pick, there's no tackle that looked great. It looked like a particularly weak tackle class, unfortunately. So sitting here at 28, we're just going to draft the best tackle available. And it's probably going to be Cook. Like, it's not even like there's no other. Like, sometimes you get a nice role where, like, clearly there's, like, a guard that can play tackle. I mean, this looks like kind of an obvious pick. The AA here on Nick Cook. 6'5", 317 out of Oregon State. Looks okay. Doesn't look like anything special. Hey, let's roll a hidden dev. But massive. I mean, we're going from a 90 and 88 tackle to two guys that are definitely going to be below 70s. Or below 80s, sorry. With our draft recap, there is our Lane Johnson replay. I mean, we got 470 overall players in this final draft class, but 73, man. That is our Lane Johnson. I mean, maybe these guys will get there. Freeland does have the superstar. This guy here, oof. We just did like the most anti-Howie Roseman thing ever. We've had a lot of success in this rebuild, but we've totally abandoned keeping the offensive line together. All right, something else that went under the radar. We were like all up in arms about Slay retired. He must have retired. Like, we looked at the retirement screen. It was only Lane. And then I guess at like the second window, Slay must have retired. Okay, anyway, offensively, we got Hurts, Swift, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. We've kept the skill position guys here to Goddard. Offensive line is completely overhauled. We still have Landon Dickerson, but we have a new left tackle, new right tackle this season. And obviously last year we have the interior. Hopefully those guys can hold up. On the defensive side, we got Riddick, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Josh Sweat on the front with Smith and Dean primarily. Edmonds and Brown at safety. Ferguson, luckily we have him. It lessens the blow of losing Slay. But if we didn't sign Cam Taylor-Britt, could have got a little rough. Like, we had no money to keep Keely Ringo, like give him finally his shot. So hopefully, at least we got 2 starting outside corners. And hopefully don't get abused too much if we have to rely on the slot. This is, I'm a little worried. We're definitely not at our best, but I still think this team will pull it all together and at least give us a 5th and final playoff run. We finish out year 5 with another NFC East title. The number 2 team. Like, I was looking at it, I was like, did we have the best record? Titans went 16-1. And we lost 2 in a row. Just ignore the score of the last game that we lost, which, I'm just going to guess. The only way I can even sleep at night is like, we rested our starters in that one, all right? Everyone got rested. That's how it... But I just think I'm very happy with this record. I was very concerned about the turnover on our offensive line, but luckily, Jalen Hurts, being an absolute dog, didn't affect him any. 4,300 yards, 34 touchdowns, 6 picks, 1,500 yards, 18 touchdowns from DeAndre Swift. I mean, this, again, don't miss it a beat, man. Shout Jeff Stoutland. No, I'm never going to doubt him. 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns. Devontae, a little bit underwhelming numbers for everyone else there. Over 100 tackles for, Nolan Smith leading the team. Tackles. 20.5 sacks to Hassan Riddick. 17.5 for Jalen Carter. 8 from Josh Sweat. 6.5 from Jordan Davis. 4 picks. Taj Ferguson. He is our new lockdown corner 1. MVP goes to Jalen Hurts, his 2nd MVP of the video. And maybe when, everyone doubted him a little bit. Hassan Reddick finally wins Defensive Player of the Year. Jalen Carter came in at number 3 in that race. The rest of the individual awards, Hassan Reddick is D-Lineman of the Year. This is awesome. And you know what? We'll use this point. Let's look at the career stats, because nothing else is really going to change here. Throughout 5-year rebuild, Jalen Hurts is at 30,000 yards passing, 224 touchdowns to 71 picks. Also, 4,700 yards rushing, 62 rushing touchdowns. So we're at, almost 300 total touchdowns for his career. Hall of Fame pace. 2 MVPs, 2 Super Bowls. Looking for our 3rd this year. Switz is at 8,300 yards, 97 touchdowns. Did most of that with us. Even Detroit Lion fans can attest. Not the most productive career for DeAndre Swift, unfortunately. On the receiving front, A.J. Brown did most of that with us. 641 receptions, 10,000 yards receiving, 78 touchdowns, 8,000 yards, 71 tutties for Devontae. Almost 7, well, that's a generous roundup, but we'll be generous to Dallas. Got almost 7,000 yards, 52 touchdowns for Dally. Wooden and Swift had some numbers there. Defensively, Hassan Riddick looking good. Nakobe Dean, 600 tackles. We got 121 sacks, Hassan Riddick, 67 for Jalen Carter, 60 for Josh Sweat, 19 Jordan Davis, 11.5 for Nolan Smith. Obviously, even Nolan Smith used him as a little bit of like a niche player for us. And really for the interceptions, 8 for Dean, 6 for Ferguson. It's the only 2 that we can really kind of lay claim to, because Edmonds might have had some of that with the Steelers. Same with Taylor-Britt with the Bengals. But we're at least able to finish this video out, which has been an utter... what were you expecting clicking on this video? It's what people want to see, but I don't think we were expecting not to win a lot. But we got 2 Super Bowls. We're looking for our 3rd Super Bowl run here in year number 5, and it starts 24-14 victory over the Commanders. Now we have the Tampa Bay Bucks. It's always a tough assignment. We've been handling the Bucks so far in this rebuild, which is exactly what we did. 31-24, and it sets up a matchup against the 16-1 Tennessee Titans, the most formidable opponent we have seen. And we're still 7 overall points better. Maybe it's worth seeing just what the hell made them set. What did they do? They had the number 2 offense, number 1 defense. What is a 16-1 Titans team looking like? Where have they fixed themselves? Because that is not a 16-1 in roster. So they got Lamar Jackson at quarterback. Derrick Henry hasn't retired yet. Jalen Waddle, Kadarius Toney, so they straight up just signed everybody. They haven't drafted or anything crazy like that. They did get, I mean, obviously they did get Kincaid during the draft, I'm going to assume. He's a 92. Offensive line is, you know, nothing special. Right-hand side's pretty good. Charles Jackson, they get Grady Jarrett, DeForest Buckner, Ojulari, Telfer, Hampton. I mean, again, linebacker. I'm seeing a defense. They got Marcus. Okay, their safety room's pretty good as well, but overall, I'm seeing a defense that we're going to be able to pick apart. This defense is going to get exposed here today. Jalen Hurts is going to finish this video with our 3rd Super Bowl for the Eagles. No messing around. We've been here. We've done it. He's right now. He says, we got 2. I'm eyeing that 3rd. Opening drive. Philly gets the ball. Settle for a field goal. Stop the Titans. Defense kind of winning here on both sides of the football. Tennessee does get the first touchdown of the game. Goes up 7-zip. Stopping Lamar Jackson is never particularly easy. But we need a shot in the iron, man. We need a touchdown bad, which we get to go down 7 into the second half. Opening drive for the Titans yields a touchdown. We go right down the field. I almost feel like we got to go 4th and 10. We got to go for this. We got to run something. We're going to go 4 verts. You know, this is Dallas Goedert territory. I mean, that whole left-hand side of the field looking pretty good. Float in, Dally, Tutty. That'll be my help. That'll be my help. If we really want 2 Super Bowls, I don't need to cheese the 3rd, but we'll help them when need be. Come on. Come on, man. I mean, we'll see if we can take a shot here and give us a chance. I mean, the clock's roll is over. Let's just pad our stats here. See if we can get a nice long bomb. Throw it in a triple coverage and let A.J. Brown come down with it. It's a revenge game for him. Fuck! Whatever. Whatever, man. You run into a 16-1 team, you're not going to get too solid. I mean, they bought their Super Bowl, right? They bought it. How many of those guys are actually Titans? You benefited from Lamar not having his contract in this game. Is what it is, man. Excuses for days. End of the day, though, the 2023 draft class. Steen emerged as our Jordan Mailata replacement, even though that was short-lived. Nolan Smith developed nicely. Jalen Carter was incredible. Jalen Hurts won 2 MVPs. We won 2 Super Bowls. We made 4, right? 4 Super Bowls? Something crazy. Like, it's a good rebuild, man. At the end of the day, it's a good rebuild. It went as well as I could ask. And even though it doesn't end on a high note, overall, I'm not going to let it dampen it. So let me know in the comment section below, fellas, what rebuild you want to see next. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. Until next time, it's your boy C4. Say peace out. Love ya. Have a good one.